Magazine reports that 78% of Americans are one emergency away from bankruptcy, and most Americans can't cover a $400 emergency out of pocket. 85% of women who leave an abusive relationship return. And according to the National Network to End Domestic Violence, it's usually because of financial abuse. These statistics cross all socioeconomic, racial, ethnic groups. However, it's worse for Black women who are still only paid 43% of what a white man is paid for the same work. This contributes to the declining wealth from generation to generation of Black and Brown people in this country. And it can help you understand why 80% of American households will never pay off consumer debt. The only thing they will be leaving their next generation is debt and disappointment. You didn't work this hard to be a statistic, and today I'm going to show you what to do about these numbers. It's never too late to lead yourself, your families, and your communities out of financial bondage. And the strategy I outlined today will help you achieve financial independence in as little as 7 years. I'm going to share with you a time tested formula for building financial freedom so you can stop feeling trapped, so you can have control over your life. Despite all our hard work, doesn't it seem like at the end of the day, we still don't have enough time, money, or energy to spend on what truly makes us happy? Well, now I'm here to tell you that it is possible. And my proven plan will help you grow your money while freeing up your time and conserving your energy for the things you really care about. First, let me tell you a little bit about myself and why I'm so passionate about helping women lead their communities out of generational financial bondage. When I started kindergarten, the teachers told my mom that I was slow and I'd never amount to much. They wrote me off, and so did most of the world around me. But my mom insisted on a certain teacher who was known to help slow kids succeed, and that teacher turned my academic career around. I learned from experience what Les Brown said: other people's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. So, whatever you've been told negative about yourself in the past, let me tell you right now, it does not have to define your future. Now, I was never the smartest kid in the room, y'all, but I was always the hardest working. And I received a full ride scholarship for college to the Air Force Academy and another full scholarship to get my master's degree. I spent 23 years in the Air Force as the first Black to serve as a physicist. But halfway through my military career, I came home from a trip to find my house sold, stuff thrown out, and divorce papers in my face. In an instant, I had become everything I worked so hard not to be. Another statistic: a single Black mom mired in debt, over $845,000 of debt. I didn't know how I was going to make it. And back then, if you filed bankruptcy, you would lose your clearance, which meant you would lose your job. And I couldn't lose that. I needed to put food on the table. Albert Einstein said you cannot solve today's problems with the same level of thinking that created them. And I needed a new way of thinking to survive this devastating heartbreak. I took classes and read books about how money worked, and I learned how to make it work for me. I now empower others to win with money using the same wealth management, investment strategies, and business strategies that got me out of that mess. Years later, I'm fully retired from the Air Force. I am a full-time mom who runs a thriving international financial education business around the needs of my family and not the other way around. I never imagined life could be this great. And no one I knew growing up had this kind of flexibility to travel and to be there with their family and to just live unencumbered by toxic work centers and evil bosses. That's why I'm so passionate about this thing. I want everyone under the sound of my voice to have that kind of flexibility and freedom. And I'm going to tell you a secret. It doesn't matter what you're facing. I know it feels sometimes like the end of the world, but I promise you, it doesn't matter where you're starting from. You might feel like you've got no support system, but you can still become financially secure. You might feel like medical issues are holding you back and keeping you from being at your best. I've been there. You might be frustrated that there's no money to start your business because you heard it takes money to make money. You ain't got no money, so how can you make any? Well, maybe you feel like no matter how hard you try, seems like life just keeps knocking you down, right? I've been there. I've suffered all of that. And I'm telling you right now, none of those things matter. It's part of your beginning, but it doesn't define your ending. What matters is a decision you make in every moment to value your future, to protect your time, energy, and resources. See, it's not about throwing money at the problems. See, you've already tried that. You bought into business opportunity after opportunity, and you just ended up with more debt and more stress. And then you watch somebody else off the street buy into the same business opportunity, and they're making six figures in their first year. And you feel like you've attended conference after conference, and you get all inspired and you're excited about something new, but then you get back to real life and nothing changes. You want to change, but it just seems like you can't move forward. It's not even really your fault. You know, in the military, they have a saying. It says, read a step, do a step, get a banana. And we've been taught on our corporate job, we read a step. We've been taught go to school, work hard. That's like doing the step. And we've been taught that if we will work hard in school, get the corporate job, work hard at the corporate job, that they'll take care of us. That's like the banana, right? And you did that. You read the step. You did the step, but they didn't give you a banana. They changed the terms. They took extra out of your pay. You thought you were going to feed your family that night. Instead, you barely had enough for the kids and you went hungry, didn't you? Oh, I've been there. Oh, you have sacrificed and you have worked so hard. And when they finally gave you a banana, it was all old and moldy. And then they told you instead of asking for a fresh one, that you should be grateful. And you know I'm using this banana as an analogy, but play it through. Eventually, we all started fighting over what few bananas were actually good. And instead of doing what others have done in other communities where they have gathered the few good bananas, planted the seeds, and created their own banana trees, our communities fell into scarcity mindset. But I'm going to ask you today, how would you like to grow your own bananas? How would you like to build a legacy of wealth for your family and your community? How would you like to be able to travel and enjoy the fruit of your labor? How would you like to get your money working for you instead of building somebody else's empire? Isn't it time for us to own our block instead of working so hard to line the pockets of people who don't care about our neighborhoods? Haven't you worked hard enough? It's not really about how much you work. I know they tell us that all the time, and I know wealthy people work hard. I work hard. But you know in your heart of hearts, you have seen people who don't work near as hard as you do. They have plenty of wealth. You've seen people who don't appear to be keeping as well with their body as you do, but they have much better health. You've seen people who are nowhere near as nice as you, yet somehow they have plenty of strategic and profitable and genuinely fulfilling relationships. Now let's talk about money for a second. How many people do you know in your circle that got a huge lump sum one day? Maybe they won the lottery, maybe they got an inheritance, they got a big bonus on the job. You know, what's happened to those people after a couple years? What's happened to those people? They spent, partied, gave away everything, and a year later, where are they? Broke. So financial security doesn't come from your background. It doesn't come from your education. It certainly doesn't come from breaking your back at that job. Doesn't come from your family. Where does it come from? It comes from within. See, when you understand how money works and how to make it work for you, it doesn't matter what happens in the future. You will always be able to bounce back. You know you'll be able to generate more. Yes, the setbacks hurt and oh, you might feel cast down, but you know you're not destroyed. And this confidence spills over into everything that you do. It covers you with grace when the business deal goes south. It cloaks you in self-assurance when you go after that next big sale. It even transforms you from desperate to confident on that next date or meeting a new friend. This confidence opens doors for your abundance, and before you know it, you have bounced back with 10 times more than what you lost. It really starts with being intentional, internally intentional with what you want out of life and what you are willing to give to get it. We must be intentional about our time, our talent, our treasure, our energy, anything that we have been made stewards of. We must be intentional about how it's spent. Too many of us have been saying we want our next decade to be high impact, but we've been acting like we don't care if we're here tomorrow. We waste away our health, energy, money, and our time trying to please people who don't even care about us and help people who we think love us but really don't. We think they care because we love them, but let me tell you something. Let me ask you this. If they really loved you, would they let you ruin your health to support them? If they really loved you, would they ask you for money knowing you need it for your family's future? If they really loved you, wouldn't they understand when you choose to tell them no? Just like you understand when they choose to tell you no? We must conserve our energy for ourselves, our family, and our legacy first. Now, I know many of you are watching this and you're thinking, wow, I thought she was going to talk about the ins and outs of financial planning. Well, I could do that for hours. It's what I love to do with my clients. And I could talk to you for hours and hours and hours about the basic components of a financial plan. I could talk to you about how to save so that you can handle emergencies with power instead of fear. I could talk to you about how to use different types of spend plans to tell your money where to go instead of always wondering where it went. And y'all, I'm a free spirit. I don't even like spreadsheets. So I customize your financial plan to you and your personality. If you're a free spirit, you definitely need to come talk to me because I find a way to make the wills and the investments and the estate planning, all these things customized to you. And we could talk about that in this time today. But those are things. We could talk about all the things that go in line with financial planning. But your success, it's not about the things. It's not about gotta get it done, entrepreneurial action. You know, a lot of us, we just want to take action. Sometimes we're not even sure if it's the right action, but we're not going to sit here idle. We're going to move forward. We're going to do something. It's not about those things. It's about being. It's not about what you do, although what you do plays a role. It's really about who you are and whose you are. Some of you have been frustrated trying to do the things that it takes to be financially secure, but you haven't become who you need to be in order for those things to multiply enough abundance to create legacy wealth. You can build the wealth, you can get the deal, you can move forward, but because you haven't become inside who you need to become, it's fleeting and it doesn't last. Some of you today know exactly what I'm talking about. But I promise you, when you become who you need to be, oh, it oozes out of your pores that you are protecting your time and your money. And after a while, guess what? The predators, they find somebody else to mess with. The energy of your being shifts from always reacting to the next crisis of life to an intentional, strategic flow that will carry you all the way to financial independence. It'll help you do the things because you have become the person. And most people who follow my plan, they achieve financial independence in 7 years or less. It's never too late to start over. It's never too late to begin to love yourself. It's never too late to begin investing in yourself. It's never too late to have the experiences you dream of, as long as you are willing to take the first step. And that first step is making the decision today to take ownership of your financial future. You take that first step today by making the decision to manage well the time, the energy, the money, the relationships that you've been given. And I can help you take that first step today with my free gift that you will find at jjclink.com/gift. That's jjclink.com/gift. You'll receive my $99 28 Days to Financial Freedom Bootcamp absolutely free. It's my gift to you, but what you do with it is your gift to your legacy. I'm JJ Conway. I want to thank you for watching. You take care and be blessed.